Hello, my sweet friends. I hope everyone's doing well. I am here with the reading for the month of December as we close out 2025. I hope that everyone has had a reasonably good year. I haven't, but then I'm not here to talk about myself. My wrist is healing up really nicely. I still have some pain and numbness through here. Again, do not overuse your phones, please. I cannot stress that enough. If there's a way to do it without your phone, do it. Because this is no fun healing from this. The scar tissue underneath is really hurting, and it's still constant pain, but not nearly as bad as before. So that is a life update on me. I'm going to be using the Celtic Tarot by Christopher Hughes, illustrated by Chris Down. This is published by Llewellyn Books. I have used this deck with you guys before, and the reason I'm using it a second time, even though I have over 300 decks, is because different decks lend themselves to different types of reading better than other ones do, and this one's really good for giving a 3-card rundown for each week of the month. And I'm going to be looking at the strength or the positive energy we have to deal with that month, any obstacles we may have, and how best to work through the obstacles. Okay? So basically, I'm looking at the positive energy of the week, the negative energy of the week, how to handle the negative energy. In short. So it'll be 3 cards for each week. This reading will have a total of 15 cards. And for those of you who may not have seen the previous flip through, this is what the art looks like. And again, I will be tilting the card so that you don't see the glare from my overhead light fixture. I just love this deck. It is so pretty. And it uses the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith interpretations. So there's really nothing new to learn with this deck. But Christopher Hughes, the guy who wrote the book for this tarot deck, does a really good job. So if you do buy this deck, read the book too. The book is actually really good, and it adds another dimension to the card meanings. But this is pretty much what the artwork looks like. And so now I'm going to shuffle for December. Again, it is a 5-week month. So I'll be pulling 3 cards for every week for a total of 15 cards. Look at the World card. I love that card. Isn't she gorgeous? I think it's probably because it has all this purple in it. And look, I can shuffle cards again. Woohoo! Tell you what, that was so frustrating not being able to shuffle. But here I go. I'm concentrating on the energy of the month for December 2025 for my lovely patrons. Alrighty. I cut the pile into thirds. And I'll be drawing straight from the top because that's how this deck likes to work. So this is going to be week 1 over here. I'll put week 2 over here. Week 3. Week 4. And week 5 down here. And again, I'll be holding the cards up to the camera so you can get a good view of them, okay? And I'll actually scooch out. Oh, God. Mm. Mm. Oh, my thumb. Oh, my God. I don't know what the hell that was. Okay. Oh, man. I think after the holiday, I'm going to call my doctor because that, oh, man. I about saw stars. Give me a second. Sorry. I'm not going to edit these because the way my eyes are, my right eye that underwent laser surgery on the 21st, it's really light sensitive. So to take any time to edit a video, that's an absolute no-go for me right now. And that's why I haven't posted to my Magical Musings YouTube, and I haven't posted to my art YouTube in a while. And my True Tales of the Paranormal kind of like fell off a cliff because those videos require a lot of editing. I just can't edit right now because my eye gets so strained and then it hurts and then I get headaches and it's no fun, man. No fun. Oh my gosh. I'm not even sure what I did. Ooh. I'm going to scooch these to either side and I will put the 3 cards here and again, hold them up to the camera so you can see them. So this is week 1. We've got card 1, which is the Queen of Shields. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Sorry for the glare. Again, I will be moving the cards so you can see them better. We get the Queen of Shields, the Page of Cauldrons. If this is another court card. No, it's not. 8 of Shields. Okay, the queens are the mother figures. Pages are basically child figures, young people, unmarried. And then we have the 8 of Shields here. So the Queen of Shields, she is the mature energy of the suit of shields or pentacles or coins. Some decks even call them stones. You know, they go by various names. And look at the little rabbit here looking up at her. And the rabbit is her familiar. And she's got her cauldron here boiling with her witchy brew. And she is basically connected to the earth. Pentacles, shields, coins, they're ruled by the earth element. And that is foundation, stability, prosperity, health, the workplace. So all of these fall under her authority. And she's looking down at her coin here, or her shield, I should say. And it's like I'm sensing someone taking a great deal of pride in their work. I think that what's going on right now with the economy, those of us who are still employed are very grateful to have jobs because there are many around us and probably people you personally know who throughout the year have been losing their employment. And it's no joke. It's gotten to be really ugly out there. It's the worst I've ever seen it in my entire life. You know, and I lived through the recession of the 70s. And this is really bad. I mean, Stuart is closing his business December 15th. I have not announced that anywhere, and I won't, but we're going to be left without anything but my income coming in from here on out, and it's extremely scary and stressful, especially with it being the holidays and no one's ordering. So I haven't made money in like 2 weeks now. So it's, you know, except for, of course, you guys with your Patreon payments, that's been it. So I love you all. I appreciate you so much. And the queen here is looking down at her shield going, when's it all going to end? Because that's what I'm hearing from this card. When's it all going to end? When's it going to get any better? And basically what I'm sensing about that is that the blessings are coming, but they're probably not going to hit till after April. And remember what comes up in April? Taxes. But I think there's going to be some sort of a government, a blanket refund for everyone who does pay income tax. I think we are going to be getting a check from the government. But again, I don't think it's going to be till after we file. And then everyone's going to get, you know, their typical return, whatever that would be, plus whatever the government handout is going to be. But I think it's coming in April, so what I'm seeing here. And then I'm really focused on the flowers here, which to me look like daffodils. Daffodils bloom in April. So, and it's been a long steady climb, you know, and we just got to keep on climbing. Don't give up. Just keep on reaching, keep on focusing on your hopes and dreams. Now we have the Page of Cauldrons. Now the center card is going to be the conflict or the obstacle, or whatever we have going on that first week of December that we have to work with. And on this card, now she represents creativity and in all forms, not just artistic, but like if you're a good cook, you play a musical instrument, if you come up with creative solutions to problems, all of that are elements of creativity. You know, gardening, you know, sewing, anything like that where you're creating something new that wasn't there before. And what I'm really focused on with this card is, see this swarm of birds behind her? That just really jumps out at me. And I hate to say it, but the first thing I hear is a murder of crows. Because you know, when crows swarm like this, they call it a murder. Why? I don't know. But I'm hearing that. And I'm just wondering if there's going to be another prominent figure who's going to be murdered in December. You know, that's the kind of feeling I'm getting from this, which is not good. And if it happens, again, just like with Charlie Kirk, it's going to affect the collective. So that's not good. And oh, and look what's on her shoulder here. Is that a crow or is it a raven? I don't know. But since I'm hearing the phrase murder of crows, it's got to be a crow. And she's holding a cauldron here, and there's a little fish popping out of it. This is a symbol that occurs on most of the pages of cups cards in all tarot decks. And that represents the blessings that your creativity can bring you, or having a creative outlook, or trying to keep your outlook more positive. So that's a reminder. We need to be positive. And I never even noticed this on this card before. A triangle with a perfect circle in it, that's a symbolic representation of the all-seeing eye. Even though this isn't an eye, it's just a circle, it's still a very basic representation of the all-seeing eye. You know, on the back of the American dollar, if you look, there's a pyramid with an eye at the top. That's the all-seeing eye, and this is a sacred symbol to the Freemasons. The Freemasons were the founding fathers of America, and that's why that symbol's on the back of the American dollar. It's actually a magic spell, and it's a spell to assure that America is always the strongest country on the planet. You learn something new every day, don't you? So I'm sure not many of you knew that. So here she is with her foot at the apex of the triangle. The apex of the triangle is where energy comes out of. And so what it's saying, when it comes to our own problems in our lives, we're at the apex of the energy. We can access positive energy to deal with it. So, you know, I recommend praying more, connecting to your higher power more often, your ancestors, whatever it is, whatever positive energy it is that you believe in, take steps to connect with that energy more. And it will help you to not only to have a better outlook on what's been going on in your lives, but it'll also, because we all call on some form of positivity when we pray and stuff, it will bring that more of that positive energy into our lives. And we all really need that right now. Also, if you are trying, what else I'm hearing is things that are hidden will come to light. So if you've been keeping something, trying to keep something under wraps, be careful because someone may find out. If someone's been keeping secrets from you, you're going to find out what those secrets are. And with all these crows in the background, it probably would be upsetting news. So this is all the obstacles I'm seeing for the first week. That's a doozy. And then we get how to deal with it all, the 8 of Shields. It's interesting how Chris Downs decided to depict the Eight of Shields, because typically it's a picture of a guy working on a shield or on a coin, or carving a stone, whatever they're going to call pentacles in that deck. And he's got them usually prominently displayed either up on a wall behind him or they're over him in an arch or whatever. And it represents someone who's a really hard worker, always has his nose down to the grindstone, always focused on what he's doing. And this person is good at what they do. So it's saying during these troubling times, all of us need to focus more energy on how we are performing in the workplace. We need to be sure that our performance remains top notch, because I think companies are really suffering right now. And I think a lot of them are looking for any excuse to start letting people go. So it's saying here the way to ward that off is be sure you're doing the best job possible, always show up to work on time, have a good attitude in the workplace, focus on, someone rubs you the wrong way, let it roll off your back like water off a duck's back. Don't let it get to you. And just focus on doing the best job that you can. And then you see these 3 ships in the background here? Those are ships coming into the harbor. Those are future blessings, future opportunities. So as long as you focus on doing as good a job as possible, your position will remain secure, and these 3 ships that come in will be even more opportunities coming in. Once things begin to get economically better, like I said, in the spring. So that's the first week of December. So I'm going to put the first week of December up here. And we're going to look at week number 2, which is over here on the right. The first card, ooh, the Magician. That's awesome. Ooh, death. Ooh, and we have the 2 of Wands. This is interesting. Let me think a second. Okay, first things first. The Magician. This is the major arcana card that represents the universal energies of will, mastery, expertise, someone who puts their skill and their knowledge to excellent use, which is what I was talking about here with the 8 of Shields. So it's saying once you do that, once you just focus on doing as good a job as you can, you're going to be able to channel higher energies into your work, into your career, and that's going to help it to grow. Now, another thing, I'm focused on the color of his altar. Typically, on the Magician card, the altar, it's stone, so artists paint it gray or brown, typical colors of stone, nothing fancy. This one's blue. Blue, to me, represents healing, along with the color green. But blue is also the color of Archangel Michael. He is the archangel of the blue ray. And what I'm hearing is that we all need to call on Michael to protect our financial well-being and also to protect our planet in general from all the chaos that's been happening. That's what I'm hearing about that. Now, again, this is another card that has a cauldron on it. Makes sense because he's the Magician. He's got his wand up here. This has the number 12 on it. The Magician is the first card of the major arcana. So he is Roman numeral 1. So I'm quite perplexed as to why there is a 12 on here. And it's really jumping out at me, and I'm thinking, the thing I can think of is, the 12 most powerful knights of the round table, the 12 apostles. 12 is a number that shows up again and again, and I'm going to look right quick in here and see if Christopher Hughes says anything about that number 12. Because I just don't know why they would have a 12 on this card. I've never seen that before. It's all typical interpretation. Man, they don't say anything about it. Okay. Well, if you add up the numbers 1 and 2, it gives you 3, which is the number for the card of the Empress. And the Empress is the card of creativity, abundance, prosperity, fertility, pregnancy. And so 12 reduces numerologically to a 3. The Magician thinks about something, focuses the energy, brings it from his wand down to the earth plane, and creates. So I think it's just reiterating that this is a card of, manifestation. What we think, we can bring forth. That's why it's so important, especially in these troubling times, to keep your thoughts positive and don't allow fear to rule over you. If you hear noises in the background, it's because we're having a storm right now. All right, here's death. And, death represents major changes, major transitions, one chapter of your life ending, another one beginning. It is not ever physical death unless it appears with the Ten of Swords, the Four of Swords, or the Devil card. None of that's here. So, big changes coming. And it's basically coming up as an obstacle. And I think it's saying, we've got the holiday season coming up. I mean, we're in it right now. I mean, Thanksgiving is later this week. I am filming this on the I don't know what the date is. 24th, November 24th. So we've got Thanksgiving this Thursday here in America. And then, of course, December 25th is Christmas. You've got Kwanzaa. You've got all the December holidays coming up. You got New Year's. People are traveling. And so the change I think is coming is that people who typically would travel at this time or would spend a lot of money on gifts, we're not going to be able to do that this year. I mean, already, like in my family, we're basically, we've canceled Christmas. My father-in-law has developed severe dementia and is having these really crazy hallucinations right now. He's still at home. So we can't go there for Christmas. Our plans are off for that. And as far as Stuart and I are going, we're just giving a gift to Ariel and Nick, her husband, and that's it. We're not giving to each other. Because we just don't have it this year. I'm just going to make a nice meal, and that's how we spent what money we have for that. So again, spending will probably be at an all-time low for most of us. And also, it's affecting everyone. It's not just, the upper middle class on down. It's even the upper classes. You see here this naked man here. He's got a crown falling off his head. You see that? That's a king. Again, big corporations, big business. Everyone is suffering right now. But then we have the cauldron here in the center, and you notice besides the flame on the head of death, this is the only source of light in the card, besides the sunset back here. This flame here, to me, represents the flame of Pentecost. That's the Holy Spirit. And so it's saying, no matter how dark this card may look, there's universal light overseeing the entire matter. And the cauldron, this is the place of transformation. Whenever in Celtic mythology, the cauldron is always the place where birthing occurs, birthing of new energies, manifestation, birthings of new opportunities, fulfillment. It all comes from the cauldron. And you see the light underneath? It's not really a fire, it's a gold light. And so it's saying, despite the darkness going on right now, there is light coming. There is light entering the situation. And like I said, by late April, early May, things are going to be a lot better for a lot of people. And now we have the Two of Wands. This is how we deal with the obstacles for the second week of December. And it's interesting, second week of December, and we get a number 2 card. And the number 2, this is a person who is looking off to the horizon. They are looking at options. They have a choice they can make, a way they can go, excuse me. And if you notice on the card here, between this person's on the top of a castle, and these are the turrets of the castle. You can see here on this side, we've got a river that goes off to the mountains, and the sun is rising because the sky is all orange. So it's not setting, it's rising. But over here, you got a dragon peeking out. And back in the background here, this looks like Glastonbury Tour to me in England. But anyway, this person, for their path, can choose either the river or the dragon. Dragons are definitely dangerous, but rivers can also be dangerous. So it could be a feeling of being stuck between a rock and a hard place, or thinking it's a situation of best to go with the devil you know than the devil you don't. So I'm getting that vibe from this card. But again, it's saying, my guides are saying, focus on your higher guidance. Ask your spiritual team to help you when it comes to decision making, and they will do so. But you have to ask. Their hands remain tied until you ask them, because it's universal law. Humans have free will. No one can tell us what to do or give us guidance until we ask for it. So as this decision looms, ask for the help, and it will come. So that is the Two of Wands. So I'll put week 2 back over here. Okay, now we have week 3 off to the left. We have the Five of Wands, the Ten of Swords, ooh, and the Five of Shields. Okay, my buddies, week 3 is going to be a bitch. There's no other way to put it. Week 3 is going to be pretty bad, and those are specifically the dates. Again, excuse my iPad here. Let's see. These are the dates of December 14th through the 20th. Okay? December 14th through the 20th. That week is going to be pretty bleak. There's no way to give this a positive slant, so I'm going to tell it like it is in as diplomatical and as compassionate a way that I can. And remember, these are readings not just for you, it's a reading for the collective. So this is the general, energy most of us are going to be dealing with that week. So we get the Five of Wands. This is the card of struggles between individuals. It can represent an actual physical altercation. Typically, it represents some arguing. And the number 5 in numerology, it's a number of change. It represents change. A lot of us do not deal with change very well. I am number 1 on that. I do not like change in anything. And so when change comes to a person, they can rebel. And this could be what's going on. There's a change coming. The energy that's coming in is going to be a change, and most people aren't going to like it. And people are going to try to stand up for it. And what I'm seeing riots in the streets. I know we've had that going on for a while now, but I'm seeing it perhaps intensifying, and I'm seeing it occurring not just in America, but in foreign countries. I'm seeing like the UK, possibly France, and the riots in the UK will be racially motivated because they want the Muslims out. It's just like here in America, you let them all in first. I mean, what the hell? Make up your mind. You want them in, you want them out, It's just crazy. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing rioting in the streets. I'm seeing looting. I'm seeing people carrying electronics and running off with them. Jewelry. I'm seeing some fires breaking out in buildings and like stores. It's kind of like what we saw in the Baltimore riots, remember? Like when was that? Like 5-8 years ago? I don't remember when the Baltimore riot. Alexa, when did the Baltimore riots occur?
Baltimore riot of 1861 occurred on April 19th, 1861.
No. It's not the riot of 1861. It was much more recent than that. Well, never mind. So much for Alexa. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot more unsettling energy. Now remember, back here with the Page of Cups, I saw possibly the murder of a prominent figure. It could be that it happens the third week of December, and that could be what creates all the unrest. So keep that in mind. Then we get the Ten of Swords. Oy vey. The Ten of Swords, I mean, there's no nice way to put it. You've got a person laying here butt naked with 10 swords stuck in their back. One sword is going through their head. They're laying in a pool of their own blood. That is the ultimate in betrayal. Now, because I saw the murder of a prominent figure with this Page of Cups, I'm thinking that's what that is. It's going to happen the third week of December, so let's see. I typically don't make predictions, so this stuff that's coming to me, it's kind of new to me. I don't do predictions because I don't feel that the future is carved in stone. We have the ability to change it, but some things I think are predetermined, especially when it comes to energies that affect the collective. And I think this may be one of those things that we just can't do anything about, and it's going to be pretty awful whatever happens. Interesting. So this is more on a world level, not really an individual level, but it's going to be affecting everyone, probably, emotionally, because you've got the Five of Wands here where people are going to be feeling violent and argumentative. And then you've got the Five of Shields here, and the Five of Shields is a card of depression. So when this happens, a lot of people are going to be really depressed. So, just like with Charlie Kirk. And, this is also a card of feeling powerless, not knowing what we can do to help ourselves. And sometimes all we can do, and the advice of this card, is to hunker down and keep yourselves as warm, cozy, and safe as you possibly can. Also, I would recommend for the week of December the 14th, keep your opinions to yourselves, because people of varying opinions are going to be fighting about them. And it's all because of this huge betrayal that's going to occur. So, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I'm really still seeing the death of a prominent figure. And it would be by murder. That's not good. But that's week 3. Let's see what happens in week 4. That will be the week of the Christmas holiday. So here we go. We have the Three of Shields. The Sun. Oh, that's awesome. And the Queen of Wands, who is also associated with the Sun card. So she always has like sunflowers around her or in the card somewhere because she's associated with solar energy. So there's the sunflowers. And of course the kid here holds the sunflowers. Okay, this is really good. The week of Christmas, it's going to be great. Now, what's going to happen with the first card, the Three of Shields here? This represents a person who's working on a project, and they're working under the direction of their boss or their supervisor, and they're going to get new directions, and they might have to change what they've been doing a little bit. So here he is. He's been carving this obelisk here, and now his boss has come along, or the man who's commissioned him to do this work, and he's saying, look, I've got these plans here. It could be that he wants him to make some changes with it, or it could be he's giving him more work. Either way, what's the meaning of this card is that underneath, your boss, your supervisor are very pleased with your work, and they want to give you more work. Now remember, for the Eight of Shields here, the advice was to do your very best in the workplace. It's going to pay off. It's going to pay off the week of Christmas. It could be a Christmas bonus. Although I really don't see very many people anywhere getting Christmas bonuses this year, just because, you know, everyone's hurting from the lowest on the totem pole up to almost the top. Of course, the tippy top never suffers. But it's saying, you do consistent good work, it's going to pay off. That's what this card means. Then we get the Sun card in the position of the obstacle, meaning there is no obstacle here, because the Sun card, no matter what, it cannot be given a negative connotation. It's the most positive card in the deck. It's the personification of positive energy, healing energy, the energy of success and achievement. And if you notice the little flame above the child's head here, that's again the healing presence of the Holy Spirit. Divine energy is going to come down and help to heal a lot of what's been going on. So there's going to be a major shift in the energy right around Christmas time, which makes perfect sense because, that's when, Christ was born. Of course, he really wasn't born in Christmas. He was born in October, but that's a whole other thing. Anyway, so the Sun is bringing in all this great energy. It's going to be healing the collective at this time, the third week of December. Everything's going to be much, much better. And then we get the Queen of Wands. Now, the Wands people, they excel at public speaking. They work really well with the public. They are teachers and lawyers, presenters of various types. And it's putting words to good use. So it's not really, saying that the Sun is an obstacle card, because it's not. But it's saying here, your work is going to pay off. You're going to have success and achievements. And the Queen of Wands is sitting pretty at the end of it all. So whereas the previous week, everything seems to be a disaster, by Christmas, it's all going to pan out and everything's going to be going really well. So now I will set these over here, and we're going to look at that 5th week of December. We get the Fool, the King of Cauldrons, or the King of Cups, and the Father, or the Emperor card. Okay. The Fool, the positive energy coming in, is taking a leap of faith. That's what the Fool card's all about. Believing in your higher power and knowing that your higher power is looking out for you. Here, the dog represents the higher power, and he's leaping to warn the Fool, hey, bring that foot back over here. Watch where you're going, because the Fool's just looking up to the sky, la-di-da, not paying attention to anything. And he's about to walk right off that cliff, doesn't even realize it. But the dog's going to save him. These are white roses. White roses in the tarot always represent spiritual purity. And what it's saying is, take a leap of faith. Know your angels, your spirit guides, your higher power will see you through it. And then the Sun is here. The rays extending downward. That's the positive universal energy. Again, still being in the situation, still helping everyone out. So again, that final week, those positive energies are still going to be playing out. And they'll probably be playing out well into the new year. And then we got the King of Cups here. Or the King of Cauldrons. Excuse me. Let me get a drink. All this talking dries out my throat. And he is the mature version of the energy of the cauldron suit, same as cups. He is intuitive, creative. He's a soft-spoken gentleman. He tends to wear his heart on his sleeve. He's very well connected to his emotions. And the water element is connected to healing. This is healing energy coming in big time. So I don't see it as an obstacle here at all. I see it as a blessing. All is healing energy. It's still going to be playing out. That sun card from the previous week, it's healing energy, will still be occurring the last week of December. And then we have the Father card, which is called the Emperor in other decks. Some of them do call it the Father also because he represents fatherly authority, male authority. He also represents the use of power. And that's why in traditional tarot, he's called the Emperor. And when this card comes up, surrounding cards will tell you how this person is using their power. Excuse me, how they're using their authority. So here we have him. He sits on a square block here. This is symbolic of the earth element, its foundation, stability, organization. But there's volatility here because you got the volcano right behind him and it's erupting. And so what it's saying is here, he has good control of the energy he uses, but every once in a while, something unexpected can happen. But he's got the logic and the wherewithal to deal with it. So it's saying there may be some little outbursts going on, unexpected snafus, glitches, but you'll be in control. You'll be able to fix whatever it is. So don't let it throw you completely off kilter. It is workable. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for the final week for the month of December. So this has been the reading for the month of December 2025 with the Celtic Tarot by Christopher Hughes, illustrated by Chris Down. So if you'd like that deck, I'll put a link in the description of the video below and also in our group on Facebook to in case you'd like to order it from Amazon. And that's it. And I will be coming back with another video probably in a few days or so to tell you about my move to Substack, how that will affect everyone here. There won't be any change in the price you pay, but you'll have to be doing your payment through Stripe, which is what the Substack app uses, because I'm going to be leaving Facebook and I'm going to be leaving Patreon because they're now going to start charging me sales tax on the memberships there. And I'm like, oh, hell to the no. Because I'm already having to pay Patreon fees and I'm having to pay PayPal fees. So that takes a big cut. Whereas at Substack, it's just one fee. And then they put it into my checking account. So I, get around the PayPal fees with that. So I'll be talking to you all about that. And Substack's really awesome. If you haven't checked it out already, it's mainly a place for writers, but there's more and more artists and musicians going over there in droves. It's growing really fast right now. And it's a real positive place. People are talking about their projects and what they're writing and, their thoughts, and they're posting poetry and pictures of kitty cats and dogs and rainbows. I love it over there. It's what Facebook used to be. Seriously. Go check it out. I'm there under my name, neferkepri.substack.com. I will put that in the description too and put it up in our group as well to remind you all. And thank you very much for those of you who've already subscribed to me as paying subscribers over there. It's the same price you pay here. And yeah, I think that's all I've got. I'll be back to talk more about Substack in another video. Thank you if you've gotten this far. And I'm wishing you all a very blessed December ahead.